uh, 2 years ago, we presented a piece as part of B-side, also as part of High Vis, which is another festival that I am one of the co-directors of, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we presented a piece called "Who's Your Hero?" And one of those was an artist by the name of Loma Pico. She's originally from the Midlands, but she's based in Bristol these days. And she did a piece dedicated to Breonna Taylor, who some of you may know was killed by the police in her bed, doing nothing while she was asleep. And we had a series of people that could be considered heroes in a series of murals. One with Chadwick Boseman, who had just passed away, which was done by an artist called T-Bone, representing him half as Chadwick and half as the Black Panther. Another one, which was in reference to the cosmic feminine aspect of the universe. And then another one that was another piece done by Zuki that was dedicated to an artist and clothes designer by the name of Dreddy, who came out of Birmingham, who had passed away a few years ago. And it showed his character of Dreddy. So this is where graffiti and street art still can have some relevance to social situations, to cultural situations, and show again the connectivity between hip hop, music, art, fashion, comics, and real life social human rights situations as well with those artists. And big up Bunny Bread as well, who did the cosmic feminine piece. And that's something that's been lost sometimes with art, in the sense of there's loads of beautiful street art all around the world nowadays, but sometimes it's just a pretty face or some flowers, and it doesn't always have it's not always grounded in a social message or impact. Not that it has to, because art is for everybody, art is subjective, but it's good to see that not being lost, that impact. And that was something that we were very happy with, and the guys at High Vis. And as I say, High Vis is another festival that takes place at a different point in time in Birmingham. B-side takes place mostly in an area known as Southside, which is more central, and High Vis takes place more in Digbeth, but both of them kind of go into other areas as well. High Vis is mostly about, as it states, highly visual art. Graffiti, street art, illustrations, comics, zines. And we managed to have the FluxCon there as well. Twice, actually, we did it there as well. And we managed, through getting hold of, connecting to, speaking to, being friends with, we managed to get hold of many artists, not only from Birmingham, not only from the Midlands and the Black Country, but also from all over the UK. We've had artists from Russia, such as Rasco. We've had amazing artists from classic, legendary graffiti artists, such as Terrible T Kid, who's old school New York. We've had Bomb 5, who's another old school New York artist who actually was very important in sort of teaching the Rock City crew a lot of their moves, because he's also a b-boy. He's not just a graffiti artist. Again, these things cross over, So that's what we've managed to do with these kind of festivals over the period of time that we've been running them, the last 4 or 5 years. Within Afroflux as well, we have a thing called Wavy Lines, which is live drawing, but always with a difference, particularly for people that didn't think that they would be able to go to live drawing, because live drawing has a very elitist kind of image for a lot of people, especially if you didn't go to art school or you didn't go to university, or you don't think you've got enough money. Live drawing classes at times can be, quite, £25 for a session, whereas we do them either for free or for about £5, which is a fraction of the price. And again, we managed to try and always make it somewhat cultural, somewhat connected to the people, and bring art to the people. And that has started a unit, a nucleus of artists of different styles, of pencils, markers, watercolors, coming from different backgrounds, who meet up quite regularly. The recent one, the last one that we had, was with in connection with a photographer by the name of Andrew Jackson, who's a brilliant photographer who's dealt with a lot of his background, his Jamaican background, but growing up here and not knowing how much that Jamaican background can affect change, or affect change in how people perceive you. And he had a project back in the day called Small Island. And now he has a new project called From Whence We Came, where he's been observing a group of young people for about the last 8 to 10 years, how they deal with their status as either British born or immigrant living here in the UK. And what we've started to do with Wavy Lines, we've connected with Andrew, and we do a live drawing session where members of the subjects of his project From Whence We Came become the subjects of the live drawing group, and questions are asked as they're being drawn. So again, this kind of connects to life art, live art, community, culture, ethnicity, race, class, sex, gender, and all of those things become entwined with the pencil, entwined with the pen. And again, that's what we're really about, basically. And in order for those who didn't understand what Afrofuturism is about, it's those aspects of not just the futuristic, not just the fantastic, but the down to earth, the everyday applications of what it is to be futurist, or to be future planning or future thinking. To that end, in 2016, when I put together the first official Afroflux events, I wrote a book called Afrofutures and Astro Black Travel. And that is still available through certain bookshops and through Amazon. And that was all about that. It's a short book. It's only about 70 pages long, but that was to engage people and give them a bigger understanding, because people would often say, I've heard of Afrofuturism, but I don't know what it is. So the idea was like, here's the book. And that has given a whole new ramp to a lot of ideas and a lot of connectivity within not only myself, only film showings and talks and panels in Birmingham, but also London, Manchester. We've done workshops. Bristol, even just the other week, was there doing similar things with connecting with martial arts and East Asian cinema and culture with DJ Chiba, who's an amazing audiovisual turntablist, scratch artist. But also we've done showings of Spaces to Place, which was at the first Afroflux FluxCon, Sunrise classic film. But we also showed that in places such as in southern France. We've done that. We've done that in where else have we done? We've done it in a few places now, and we're just making these connections. And also now I'm connecting with you in Korea. Incheon and the whole area, and there are so many connections, not just with our abandoned buildings from the revolutionary periods of industrial revolution, which was a lot in Britain, which was based on a lot on the back of slavery and colonialism in the transatlantic slave trade and the Raj, but also to our futures, you know, to these abandoned buildings and what they can be used for next, what they can be used, how they can be used as far as launch pads for future thinking and future thoughts. I will continue to do the work that I've done. I will continue to oversee my own mission within that. And I'm just glad that I can look around parts of Birmingham and see amazing work by artists such as Will Barras or Bonnie Bread from I Create Not Destroy, EPOD, and just see amazing murals and always feel refreshed by that street culture, by the knowing that we had dance competitions, spoken word poetry, rap, film showings, comics, open markets, trade, fashion, entrepreneurship, business seminars, web seminars, tech seminars, VR, comics, zines, art as a whole, you know, just a different type of thinking, knowing that we can have that in these abandoned buildings from these places, from these street level places, and just continually going up and up and up. And that's the idea of Afroflux, that's the idea of High Vis, that's the idea of B-Side, and any of the things that I'm connected to, look into and preside over. I will wish that people look into the names of the people that I mentioned. I wish that people look into the names of the labels that I mentioned and the nights and the events, and just keep going and keep going up and keep going up and keep going up and keep going up. I thank you, and I thank you, and I thank you.